Hello people, today we are going to learn about planning process, group project management processes, determine budget. Determine budget is the process of aggregating the estimated cost of individual activities or work packages to establish an authorized cost baseline. The key benefit of this process is that it determines the cost baseline against which project performance can be monitored and controlled. The inputs involved for the determined budget are cost management plan, scope baseline, activity cost estimate, basis of estimates, project schedules, resource calendars, risk register, agreements, and organizational process asset. The tools and technique used are cost aggregation, reserve analysis, expert judgment, historical relationship, funding limit reconciliation. And the outputs are cost baseline, project funding requirement, and project document updates. So let's see input one by one. First input is cost management plan, which defines how project will be managed and controlled. Then the next input is scope baseline, which consists of project statement, work breakdown structure, and WBS dictionary. The project scope statement has formal limitations by period for the expenditure of the project funds can be mandated by the organization, by agreement, or by other entities such as government agencies. These funding constraints are reflected in the project scope statement. Then the next thing in scope baseline is work breakdown structure, which provides the relationship among all the project deliverables and their various components. Then there is WBS dictionary and other related statement of work provide an identification of the deliverables and description of the work in each work breakdown structure component required to produce each deliverable. The next input is activity cost estimate. For each activity within a work package are aggregated to obtain a cost estimate for each work package. Then the basis of estimates, supporting detail for cost estimates contained in the basis for estimate should specify any basic assumptions dealing with the inclusion or exclusion of the indirect or other cost in the project budget. Then there is project schedule, which includes planned start and finish date for the project's activities, milestone packages, and control accounts. This information can be used to aggregate costs to the calendar periods in which the costs are planned to be incurred. The next input is resource calendars, which provide information on which resources are assigned to the project and when they are assigned. This information can be used to indicate resource cost over the duration of the project. Then next input is risk register, which should be reviewed to consider how to aggregate the risk response cost. Updates to the risk register are included with the project document updates. Then there is agreements. Applicable agreement information and cost related to products and services or result that have been or will be purchased are included when determining the budget. Then there is organizational process asset. The organization process assets that influence the determined budget process are existing formal and informal cost budgeting related policies, procedures, and guidelines, cost budgeting tools, and reporting methods. The tools and techniques involved are cost aggregation. Cost estimates are aggregated by work packages in accordance with the WBS. The work package cost estimates are then aggregated for the higher component level of WBS, such as control accounts, and ultimately for the entire project. Then there is reserve analysis, which consists of contingency reserve and management reserves. Contingency reserves meaning the cost involved for known unknowns, and management reserves are for the unknown unknowns. We have already talked in detail in past tutorials. You can go back to my channel and search for other budget related project management processes, cost related, and you can know more about the reserve analysis. Then the next tool technique used is expert judgment, which is guided by experience in the application area, knowledge area, discipline, industry, or similar project, aids in determining the budget. Such expertise may be provided by any group or person with specialized education, knowledge, skill, experience, or training. Expert judgment is available from other units within the performing organization, consultants, stakeholders including customers, professional and technical association, and industry group. The next tools and technique used is historical relationship. Any historical relationship that result in parametric estimate or analogous estimates involves the use of project characteristic or parameter to develop mathematical models to predict the total project cost. Such model may be simple. For example, residential home construction is based on a certain cost per square foot of space, or the complex model can be a model of software development. Costing uses multiple separate adjustment factors, each of which has a numerous points within it. And the next tool and technique used to determine budget is funding limit reconciliation. The expenditure of funds should be reconciled with any funding limit on the commitment of funds for the project. A variance between the funding limits and the planned expenditures will sometimes necessitate the rescheduling of work to level out the rate of expenditures. This is accomplished by placing imposed date constraints for work into the project schedule. The output is cost baseline. The cost baseline is the approved version of the time-phased project budget, including any management reserve which can only be changed through the formal change control procedures, and is used as a basis for comparison to actual result. It is developed as the summation of approved budget for different scheduled activities. So here we can see that work package cost estimate consists of activity contingency reserve plus activity cost estimate, and then control account consists of contingency reserve plus work package estimates. Then cost baseline includes control accounts, and project budget includes management reserve plus cost baseline. So in short, we can say that my project budget consists of cost baseline plus management reserve, and cost baseline consists of contingency reserve and cost estimates for the packages. Since the cost estimate that make up the cost baseline are directly tied to the schedule activities, this enables a time-phased view of the cost baseline, which is typically displayed in the form of S-curve. So here we can see that in the first quarter the funding requirement is here, and in second quarter it goes up to here, in third quarter it goes up to here, fourth quarter it goes up to here, and then there is a management reserve, and and the total thing is project budget. And the dark line is the cost baseline, which is the dark, and the dotted line is the expenditure. So we can see that initially the expenditure is within the baseline, which is the predicted budget of the project, and as the project progresses we see that the expenditure has exceeded the cost baseline, and wherever it has reached is called budget at completion, which is also called BAC. So this is quite easy to understand. The project budget consists of management reserve plus the cost baseline, and the cost baseline is the sum of the contingency reserve and the cost estimate of the entire project. The next output is project funding requirement, total funding requirement and periodic funding requirement, example quarterly or annually, are derived from the cost baseline. The cost baseline will include projected expenditures plus anticipated liabilities. Funding often occurs in the incremental amount that are not continuous and may not be evenly distributed, which appear as steps as shown in previous slide. The total funds required are those included in the cost baseline plus management reserve, if any. The funding requirement may include the sources of the funding. And the next output is obviously the project document updates. So the involved project documents are risk register, activity cost estimates, and project schedule. So guys, I hope you got some idea on determine budget, project planning process group, project management processing. So come back to my channel or subscribe to my channel for more videos on PMP and other things. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon.